content. Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett, and I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. So this week, I am really focused on helping people understand the IRS collection process, okay? Because what happens every year, especially with new home business owners that go and boss out in their business and never had any type of consultation whatsoever, when it comes down to filing those taxes, then they're presented with a tax bill that they're not ready to pay. And so then this is why, this is why I'm here. So to help you understand, okay, what is the next, what's the next step? So, so just talking about what to do in the event that you have a tax liability that you cannot pay. Okay. So, today I'm going to talk about the offer in compromise. So the offer in compromise, okay, the main way that you see those, my tongue is tied. The main way that you see those is you see those commercials, right? You see those commercials on TV that say, if you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, you need to call us, and you see some happy couple that's sitting there in a nice house, and they're saying, the IRS settled our, $10,000 debt for $294 and everything is great and all that stuff. Okay. So that is an offer in compromise where you owe a certain amount that you can't pay, and then you and the IRS come to an agreement with what you can pay. Okay. So that's what it is. And it's based on a few things. It's not one of those things where you have this tax bill and you say, okay, well, I can't pay that, and so I'm going to set up an offer in compromise. No, there are some things that are taken into account. Your ability to pay, your income, your expenses, and any type of assets that you have. Assets being what's in your checking account, your retirement account, investments account, if you own a home, if you own stocks, all of that, okay? So all of that is taken into account when they're coming up with this offer in compromise. Now, not everyone is eligible for an offer in compromise. And as a matter of fact, if you want to find out, you can actually go to irs.gov yourself. And, there is basically a quiz that you can take to show whether or not you qualify. But now, so let's just say that you do qualify. Like, what's really going on with this whole offer and compromise type thing? Okay. So first of all, there is a $186 application fee. Okay. Now, this is something that happened that just happened last year. It says that beginning March 27, 2017, the IRS will return any newly filed offer in compromise if you have not filed all your required tax returns. Okay. This is one of those things that I have been, harping on and letting you know. Like, if you have not filed all of your taxes, the IRS is not trying to hear you when it comes down to an offer in compromise, because they want all their money. Okay. So, and it says that the application fee will be returned, but any initial payment toward the application will be applied to your balance due. So you've got this $186 fee that you have to send. And then you also need to send something, towards your tax debt. And so what they're saying is that if you haven't filed your taxes and you're submitting for an offer in compromise, they're going to send your application fee back, but that any additional payment is going to go towards your tax liability. So you go through the process of submitting an offer in compromise, and then there's two payment options. There's the lump sum cash payment, and then there's the periodic payment. So with the lump sum cash payment, you can submit an initial payment of 20% of the total that you're offering. That's in addition to that $186. Okay, so if your offer is accepted, then you'll get a letter, and any remaining balance will have to be paid in 5 or fewer payments. Okay. So that's the lump sum cash options. You can, basically 5 months, you got to pay it. Then there's the periodic payment where you pay monthly. Okay. And again, you submit your initial payment with your application in addition to that $186. Now, if you if you qualify for a low income, then you don't have to send that $186 fee. You don't have to send that monthly payment while your offer is being considered. But now this takes a while. So while your offer is being considered, if you don't qualify for the low income threshold, then you still need to be making payments while your offer is considered. Okay, so it's not that you send the offer and then you wait to hear something and then you start making payments. No, you need to be making payments all the while it's being considered. So you have to meet those specific terms. So again, it's not that you just say, okay, I owe, $10,000 and I don't want to pay. Doesn't work that way. It's, they're taking into account your lifestyle and assets and stuff. And so that's why I said, you're not going to be sitting on, in a nice house with, $300,000 worth of equity in your house and not pay your tax bill. Not going to happen, because they're going to tell you need to go take a home equity loan or whatever and pay this tax bill. Okay. So the two things that can happen, your offer can be accepted or it can be rejected. Now, if your offer is accepted, great. You're going to get a letter. You're going to have the payment terms, and you stick to those payment terms come hell or high water. Okay. But if your offer is rejected, you can go through an appeals process to say, okay, you rejected it, but I don't agree with that. So you can do that, but that doesn't mean that they're going to then turn around and accept it. You're still going through the process. Now, this whole offer and compromise process can take months. Okay. We're talking about from the time that you send the thing in, it could be 8 weeks before you hear anything. It could be, I've seen offer and compromise process take up to 9 months. So it is a long drawn out thing. But even for you to even be considered, you have to file all of your taxes. You have to pay your application fee, and then you have to send in money to say that this is what I can afford to pay, whatever it is you're agreeing on. And you have to keep sending that in. So what happens if you don't abide by the terms? Okay. If something happens and you can't make a payment based on what you've agreed to with the IRS, you need to call them immediately, because just randomly not making payments and not saying anything, that's going to get you in a world of hurt. Because if you don't abide by the agreement, they can call all of the debt. It's not what you agreed to, but they can go back and request all of the amount that you owe, like right now. So this is why you definitely want to stay in contact with the IRS to say, hey, I've, fallen on some hard times or whatever. And then, if you got to miss a payment, it's keeping in contact with them. Please, please, please do not, under any circumstances, just not pay the IRS. Okay. And the other thing is that you must file all of your taxes on time for the next 5 years. So going through this process, if you all of a sudden just decide to miss a year or don't file an extension, they can come back and ask for all of their money. So it is super important for you to remain compliant when it comes down to filing your taxes, and you're dealing with an offer and compromise with the federal government. Now, the offer and compromise in general, what I'm sharing with you is at the federal level. Now, when it comes down to the state, if you also owe state taxes, then you've got to deal with the state too. And each state has its own set of rules. Some states don't even have this offer and compromise thing. You owe what you owe and you're going to pay. Okay. So you have to know what's going on with your state. And really, the state will come for you faster and sharper than the feds will. The federal government is at least willing to work with you. Not all states have this appeals process and, offer and compromise process. So you really have to know what's going on with your state. So, even though somebody might come for me when I tell you this, okay, when it comes down to paying a tax liability, if you've got federal and state, you want to take care of your state and then compromise with the feds, okay? Because the state in which you live, they will, listen, don't play with your state, okay? Because you got to live there. Like, seriously, I say that in humor, but that's really the truth. You want to take care of the state Work with the feds, okay? So the offer in compromise, it really presents an option for people who really genuinely can't pay the taxes that they owe. You might have an issue where you had a great salary and one day and then you got laid off, and okay, now you have this tax bill and you don't have the money that you were expecting to have. So the other thing is please do not try to have money from the government. I have seen so many cases of where people where their income increases, or they're trying to get as low a payment as possible so they don't report all of their income. That is not the route that you want to go, because in the event that you are found out that you actually have more money than you said you have, that constitutes fraud, and then they will come for you for all of their money. So it is important that, number one, that you are honest with the government and that you file your taxes and that you abide by the plan. Those are the most important things. No, like I said, nobody wants to pay taxes. Can I just say that loud and clear? Like, people are ticked. I see all these posts. Oh my gosh, I don't want to pay this or that and the other. Nobody wants to pay taxes. Okay, but taxes ain't going nowhere. Taxes been around since the Bible. So we know that taxation is not going anywhere. So you make the best of it is what you do. And then, for my business owners, this is why I tell you to set aside that 30% of your income for taxes so you do not put yourself in this type of situation. Okay, you don't want to be in trouble with the government owing the money. That's just it. Okay, so listen, I hope this helps you out, gives you an idea of one way to settle your debt with the IRS. Offer in compromise. Share this with a friend that might be in trouble if you need some help. Okay, listen, anything that has to do with your taxes, you can actually do yourself. But that's going to take for you to do some research and read and follow the instructions and all of that. The other side of that is you can get help. You can get someone who's an enrolled agent like me, a CPA, or a tax attorney to help you deal with this stuff. You don't have to go it alone. If you're feeling fearful or not really understanding, that is when you really need to hire help. Okay? So that's it for me. I'll put a link so that you can book your complimentary tax consult. Woo, I had a brain cramp there. bit.ly/home biz tax chat. I'll put that in the comments. But yeah, so that's it for me for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, we are here Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can tune in here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right, have a great day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.